North Korea, sometimes infamously referred to as the Hermit Kingdom, is a state completely shrouded in secrecy, making it one of the most remote countries in the world. The North Koreans of the 21st century remain relatively obscure even to this day, despite being led by an all-powerful leader and government controlling absolutely everything. It is well known that the leadership of this nation has instituted a plethora of weird and authoritarian regulations and laws to shield the country from the effects of external force. There are many things that we accept as normal but are actually against the law in this country. The following is a list of some of these. 1. Christmas trees. Starting off our list, we have something very unexpected: the Christmas tree. Interestingly, North Korea hasn't celebrated Christmas in a state-sanctioned capacity for more than 70 years. This is because the Kim Jong-un administration in North Korea strictly regulates or outright prohibits the practice of any and all forms of religion, notwithstanding the country's avowed atheism. Surprisingly, in certain other countries too, celebrating Christmas is a criminal offense, and those who do so risk being imprisoned, tortured, or even put to death. Therefore, it is not possible to either purchase or own any Christmas decorations, such as Christmas trees in North Korea. 2. Coca Cola. Cuba and North Korea are the only two places in the world in which Coca Cola cannot be legally purchased or sold. Because of the trade embargo placed on the brand, it is very hard to find a nice bottle of Coca Cola anywhere in the country. However, if you go to Pyongyang, you will see luxury shops selling bottles with distinctive white and red labeling. However, these are not colas. 3. Pads. Women who menstruate in North Korea do not have access to sanitary pads, which are the most fundamental commodities provided to women who menstruate elsewhere in the globe. Women in rural areas often create or purchase sanitary napkins made of white cotton. These napkins are not disposable, and they must be washed and reused multiple times. Although there is a luxury disposable sanitary napkin called Daedong River that is created locally, most North Korean women cannot even afford to buy it because of its high price. 4. Condoms. The country's government has outlawed all forms and methods of birth control, making it extremely difficult to acquire a condom. Business people carry the vast majority of condoms into the country on their way back from China. Birth control and abortions have been made illegal by the supreme leader of North Korea to increase the country's birth rate and generate more socialist workers. Both of these policies were implemented in the same vein. In addition, even the gynecologists and other medical professionals who provide North Korea residents with any birth control methods or devices run the risk of being penalized. 5. Sports cars. It is extremely difficult for North Koreans to purchase a sports automobile because of the sanctions imposed on the country by the United Nations and the European Union. The sanctions prohibit the importation of high-end luxury items. In fact, this prohibition has been in effect at least since the year 2013. On the highways of Pyongyang, you won't come across any Mercedes-Benz or Audis. Despite this, there are whispers that Kim Jong-un has openly defied the ban by purchasing a Mercedes-Benz armored car. 6. High-end shoes. If you find yourself in North Korea, you might as well forget all of the luxury brand names that offer the best shoes you can possibly buy. The Hermit Kingdom has banned the sale and use of all designer shoes. You are out of luck in the remainder of the country unless you live in one of those bordering districts of China, in which case you might be able to find heels, pumps, and other shoes made in China for sale. Despite this fact, North Korea has a thriving black market for a wide variety of shoes, purses, garments, and other items created in the West. 7. Socializing. If getting to know the locals and having a conversation with them is one of your favorite things, you might want to reconsider doing so while traveling in North Korea. Even while no one has been imprisoned or put to death for speaking with a foreigner, special service officials will undoubtedly show up at their homes. Therefore, you shouldn't be startled if someone you try to chat with or take a picture of runs away from you. This is simply their way of avoiding getting into trouble. Photographing the people or the environment in North Korea is technically considered a violation of the country's forbidden laws, and most of the time, it is the guide that is traveling with the international travelers that will initiate the stop to this act. 8. Buying real estate. Apartments in North Korea are not legally available for purchase. The government is the entity responsible for their distribution. Even the option to transfer from the countryside to Pyongyang is out of the question. The price of an apartment on the black market might range anywhere from 70,000 to 90,000 USD. However, those who were forced to flee their homes in Korea assert that the official monthly pay of an ordinary citizen of the country is $4. 9. Western fashion. There has been a total ban of Western attire in the country since 2016, including something as ordinary as jeans. Kim Jong-un, the current leader of North Korea, has made it illegal for his citizens to engage in any practices associated with Western culture. The restrictions include a ban on body piercings and Western dresses. The plan was to aim for what were considered to be capitalism's characteristics, such as clothing, hairstyles, t-shirts, and length of skirts, and so on. The person who did not comply with the dress code were transported to work camps, and this practice is still ongoing today. 10. Getting your desired haircut. The government has approved 28 official hairstyles in North Korea. All men and women in the country must adhere to the same haircuts, and all other hairstyles are prohibited. Because the government views spiked hair as a sign of defiance, it has issued a blanket ban on the style. Kim Jong-un, the current leader of North Korea, was responsible for passing this law in 2013. He chose not to include his own haircut in the law because he wished to preserve its individuality. 11. Starbucks. According to the propaganda sent forth by the North Korean government, Starbucks is a symbol of the imperialist value of the United States. While it's possible that it has something to do with sanctions, it's going to be very difficult to get anyone to talk about that. In light of the aforementioned, the Ryongwon coffee shop, which, for some reason, will bring to mind Starbucks, is considered one of the most well-known coffee shops in Pyongyang. 12. Apple. And at last, but not least, we have Apple. Because the selling of any form of high-tech or modern equipment is strictly regulated in North Korea, you won't find a single iPad or iPhone in the hands of a North Korean citizen. Having said that, it is reported that Kim Jong-un is the proud owner of an authentic Apple product and has a certain affinity for the brand. Although not Apple, the nation does have its very own tablet PC, in addition to a smartphone that, oddly enough, looks very much like an iPhone. In addition, the most recent release of the native operating system, known as Red Star, has a graphical user interface strikingly similar to that of Mac OS X. However, users are only permitted to link these gadgets to the government-operated private network known as Mirai. This brings us to the end of this video. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing and sharing so we can keep bringing more content like this. Also, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time!